the taxation aspect, coming to that, our distributions comprise three components: dividend, interest, and as you rightly mentioned, the debt repayment. The debt repayment year to date has been about 40% of the overall distributions. And this is the component which is now proposed to be taxed as other income at the marginal tax rate. This is applicable to all investors, not necessarily a particular retail or sponsor investor. And in effect, what it means, Nisha, is that the new tax proposal impacts our post-tax distribution yield to the extent of roughly 50 to 100 basis points, depending on investor category, which in turn implies that about 8% to 16% of our distribution element of our product, of the total return that we speak of, it's impacted. So the distributions are impacted to the extent of 8 to 16%, depending on investor category. However, as I mentioned earlier, REITs are a total return product, and the proposed tax changes do not impact the growth levers, and the upside potential stays fully intact.
That's right. But also, Vikaash, what is the kind of steps that are being taken by the industry and your company in terms of representations, and also to reduce the burden of this taxation coming in proposed in the budget, because it is going to impact you by 50 to 100 basis points in terms of yield?
Absolutely. So, currently we, along with other industry participants, are evaluating next steps. And as you rightly mentioned, we are considering suitable representations to authorities, especially given the attractiveness and success that the product has seen for retail investors. For example, in our case, the retail investor base has increased by over 18 times since our IPO, and currently we have over 70,000 retail investors. Have transformed the Indian real estate, but Nisha, it's still a new product. And so some teething issues are to be expected, but overall government and the regulators have been very supportive since the launch. So we are not about volatility. We don't envisage any challenge to deliver on our business plans, and we will continue with our advocacy efforts to the regulators, hopefully to come out with a positive result to the benefit of our unit holders, including the retail investors.
How have the investors reacted to this budget proposal, Vikaash, if you can tell us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you see the volatility, I'm assuming there's a reaction or overreaction to what the announcement has been. It's not necessarily positive based on what was applicable just before the budget, in the sense both dividend and amortization of SPV debt were both considered as tax-free. But knowing with the conversations that we've had with our institutional as well as retail investors, they do understand it's a total return product. So yes, the distribution are impacted by 50 to 100 basis points on an yield basis, but REITs continue to be a total return product. They have been envisioned to deliver about mid to high teen returns. So it impacts the overall total return potential. But if you see the percentage impact, it's not significant in the overall total return story that we speak of.